And hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of LightShare.
What's up, everybody? We're back.
Today is the last day, boys, of the year.
Last episode of this year.
Excited.
Excited.
So, yeah, I thought of doing like a kind of like a recap of what this year has been like for all of us here at LightShare, like remembering all the ups and downs, all the struggles and all the victories we've had in our careers and the growth process and all that stuff. So yeah, honestly, I don't even know what to start with because I remember at the very beginning of this year, I started like super motivated. You guys remember that video I made where I took like a cold swim the very first day of the year?
Like, this year?
That was the first
year?
year?
Yeah, that was this year. I shaved my head.
It looks... Damn,
so
it looks like
ago.
that's so long ago.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, bros. I don't know. How did you see this year? Like, of course, I already know because we've been in contact, we've been in touch and stuff, and I know you guys have been bouncing from one project to another, growing like crazy. But how did you see that?
So much happened, man. Like, it felt like 10 years in one.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
It felt like long.
This year was way different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, definitely was like a comeback from 2020, for sure.
Yeah, I felt 2020 quite slow. In my case, I even posted a video. I remember detailing like a big break or like a period of inactivity on my side, like not really motivated, not really, I don't know. It was yeah, a really slow time. But this year, I also had that kind of stuff going on. You know, I feel like it's almost like a cycle. And it depends on what you set up yourself to do. Like if you believe you can't do anything, you'll be living like that, you know. And if you, because it all starts in your mind in a way, you know, like your thoughts kind of fuel your reality, because then they become words and then they become actions, and yeah, you fix goals and you start doing stuff. So this year I've been figuring out even more and more and more things about Heavenurian, for instance. Then we can talk about your stuff as well. But dude, you run into like habits, new habits that you always wanted to do, you know, daily practice, daily sketches, daily whatever, you know, working out, dieting, or any kind of aspect of your life you want to improve. For some reason, sometimes feel impossible and sometimes feel like, okay, this is the time. We're going to start right now, you know, and we're going to roll through it all the way. And this was the year for me, especially the second part of this year, after summer and after, yeah, because it gets pretty hot here in Spain, you know, in summer, especially on this side.
Yeah.
And it's for some reason it's so it makes you like so lazy. And I'm speaking for myself, but yeah, now I'm realizing that once that's done, I kind of felt this spark to do stuff, you know, both on YouTube. I've been posting more, I've been finishing client projects, I've been figuring out and writing more stuff for Heavenurian. I've been getting feedback from you guys, which was amazing. And overall, you feel energized and motivated and excited to share more, you know, so yeah.
Yeah, energized, I think, is a pretty good word, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on a snowball this year. Like,
right?
From the beginning of the year,
tell me about it.
Hasn't stopped, you know. Like, I got a promotion, I got engaged, I started remodeling a house, I took like 4 different trips during the whole year, more freelance gigs than I could handle. Like,
dude, I find it amazing how aware you are to kind of just say those things in a row, one after another, you know, to recap that fast. Because sometimes like if you don't pay attention, you go like, "What did I do this year?"
Well, I had a time
It
while you were
started.
talking to think about the whole year.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's quite scary
it's
to
nice.
think about everything. I
Yeah,
got to meet Dom in person finally. Got
that
to
was
like
awesome. When
go
I
to
saw
the
your picture, I
US.
was like,
Yeah.
"Damn!" I was thinking of photoshopping
Wish you were
myself
there.
behind you.
Yeah, that was an awesome moment. Like to reconnect after all these years.
Yeah,
It's been
I
like
really feel it was an
unreal.
up from 2020, because 2020 was honestly like a train wreck, right? Stopped working out, stopped everything, got like really
Yeah.
depressed. And then like towards the end of the year, a slight hint of like things getting better. And then it seems like that slight hint took over and 2021 was like really
I
great,
could
if
come
not like
back.
overwhelmingly great.
Hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hope like next year continues like this.
It's gonna be crazy. Like we could talk about that too. Like what things do you expect from the next year? But yeah, Dom, I saw you were making a lot of progress with your new book as well, right?
Yeah, Blue November is coming along. um got
You've
the
been
brainstorm
invited.
gig
You've
this
been
year.
invited to quite a few podcasts too.
So awesome. Yeah, like 4 different podcasts with like that with Josh's podcast, Sid's podcast, Aaron,
Hmm.
that other podcast on YouTube.
Yeah, it was so
And
cool, man, to see us like
yeah, everything was spiking up
yeah branching
this year.
out, like getting more
It's crazy.
Well, wasn't this
exposure.
year as well that you launched your course, Adrian? Like on Evident as well?
Oh yeah,
That
the Evident
was by the
thing,
end
right?
of 2020. Yeah, that was by the end
But
Oh,
it
of
took off this
last
year.
last year. It was in November last year. So yeah, I
I see.
recently got like 1 year of of the
Oh,
course since it's been
nice.
live. Yeah, so
Nice.
you guys check it out if you're interested. Visual storytelling on evident.com. No, but they made it really cool. They made like their own new platform, like a social media for artists kind of thing where you can share your art, and you have the courses and the groups, and it's really cool. And
Yeah.
yeah, dude, it's been a long time since that happened, but again, it felt it's weird because it feels
Okay.
like it's been so recent, but at the same time so long ago. I don't know. And yeah, I was
This
really happy,
year-
man, to see how we all like been invited to different
Yeah.
places. It's this feeling of growth, not this feeling of like being stagnated and not moving, and
Mhm.
right.
Yeah.
I like that feeling of feeling like
This
you've
year,
been doing something.
Yeah, I finally like lost weight too.
You lost weight?
Yeah, because last year, I was 181 pounds. I don't know how many kgs that is.
I have
like,
no point of
uh,
reference for that.
80 kgs?
Must be like
I don't know.
75
70 something.
or
Yeah.
almost 80, I guess.
Yeah, it's around 70 to 80 kgs.
Hmm.
So I was pretty heavy for my height. Yeah, it's like 82 kgs.
Oh, okay.
So I finally dropped down like 10 pounds this year. So I was like, yes. Like I feel more stronger, more leaner, because I gotta show you guys like later the before and after pic of like this
That's awesome,
transformation.
dude, because I've always seen
That's
you
really
like pretty fit, like in your IG stories, you're always showing like rope jumping videos and push-ups, and you have like a weight vest,
Yeah.
right? Which you work out with. That's super cool. Plus you bike around and you ride your bike around and all that stuff. So yeah, but
I
it's,
think
it's
this
good to
year
know that. Yeah.
was the significant change because I finally did more research on dieting.
Oh, yeah,
Because
that makes a
last
huge
year,
difference.
like, I didn't know how to, compound like my foods. I was just eating for the sake of eating, but not actually tracking calories or researching like, oh, maybe I'm eating too much carbs. I'm eating less protein. So that's also like why I gained weight. And like sugar too. I was eating a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
So
I usually go for like the opposite kind of tactic. Like I choose what things not to eat, and I just leave them out of my diet. Like for instance, sweets, chocolate, processed food, like types of bread, or I'm not sure how to say this, pastry, or like these baked kind of sweets and stuff that you can buy. They come in like a bag. Anything that comes in a bag is probably not that good. So trying to go more for like vegetables and meat and all that stuff. Just balancing thing out a little more.
And if you like sweet stuff, because I really do, I eat fruits. Like they are.
That's
really
I was gonna say that.
the best thing to
I can get it from
replace
fruits.
them. Yeah, and like after you get used to them, they're actually really sweet. Like
They
compared
are.
to
I know.
regular
And
food.
it's hard always this time of the year, right?
Oh, I completely like flipped out on this time. I didn't care at all for the past couple of weeks about my diet, but that's because like I kept it strict the whole year, so I can just let it go for a couple of weeks and actually relax my mind and like reset
it's rather
everything.
like a social pressure at a point, family dinner and all that stuff. Oh, you're not gonna eat this? Why not? Because.
But I kind of like it. Like, to be honest, it's not because of the pressure. It's just because I've controlled myself the whole year. Let me enjoy it a bit without worrying. Like without, let me see how much protein, how much fiber there's in this thing, how much.
So
like,
I never get that deep into it. I know people who do, that they weigh all the food they eat, and because they are
that's
on a
like
very
too much.
Well, if they want to know the exact metrics and, they're tracking their results because they're working out in a specific way, they're eating in a specific way, they time
that's my goal
everything.
For the next year.
Yeah, see, I think you were doing that already, Andre, right? Like
I was doing like kind of like that. I didn't got to the weighting part, but I was tracking like amount of protein, amount of fats, amount of fiber, and like how many meals a day, and all of that. Like to me, it's really the best thing, because if I let it go, I can just like spend the whole day without eating because I don't feel hungry, and then it's better if I have the set times to do stuff. Like on the trip that I just took, I think I ate like twice a day, and then I ended up like losing weight because I don't eat as much as I should, and like it's naturally I'm not naturally as hungry, so I think it's best. But if you're like naturally eating too much, then it's a bit different, right?
My calorie deficit.
Yeah.
Well, it's good that you know yourself. That's what many people don't do. They just don't know themselves. They don't understand how their bodies work, how their metabolism work, and they end up with undesired results and not understanding. Oh, how could this happen? So I love it. I love it that you guys are getting into that terrain a little more, and I always try to experiment on my own, with all the fasting times and the eating a lot times and the working out a lot and working out after eating, before eating, working out without eating. I've tried all of these things, and it gives you like
so much.
What?
Like it varies so much from person to person, like what
Absolutely.
works for you. Like
Absolutely.
If you find like the right place where like your diet it's kind of in order, you're training, you're exercising the time that your body accepts it the most, or you like it the more, like your life gets so much better that it's like not even close to being like lazy and not caring at all.
You feel like, why haven't I done this before? Why did I wait for so long? Yeah. So
that's age, guys. We're getting old, so we need to take care of our bodies.
We're not getting old, man. Come on. I'm tired of people saying that all the time. Like, oh my God, we're headed to our 30s. Damn. That's when you start feeling
We only
pain.
have like 50 or 60 more years to,
Bro, come
to life.
on.
We're so close.
Fuck's sake, I've seen grandpas like more fit than people who are in their 30s. That's kind
Ah,
of,
man,
Yeah.
it's really sad. And that's so this year I've been finishing this physical therapy thing at this physical therapy center because years ago I injured myself in the leg, and I overstretched because I have like a pretty acrobatic background, you know. In my teen years I loved doing like breakdance and martial arts and stuff like that, you
Nice.
know, lots of twists and flips and stuff. So there was a time of like inactivity in that kind of type of sports, and then gym time. And gym time was different because yes, I was feeling the strength and the improvement in my body, but then I was like, oh, I miss the flexibility days. So my mind couldn't catch up with my body, or rather the other way around. My body couldn't catch up with my mind, who was still trapped in the past, you know, like where this Adrian was still flexible and stuff. So I overstretched and I injured the right adductor muscles on my right leg, which is the inner side of the thigh. And yeah, that was painful. It wasn't like a moment. It was rather like a realization over time, because I noticed how in my everyday tasks, you know, like getting out of a car, where, you know, you step out of the car, you open the leg to a side and you're like, ah, damn, what the hell? Why does that hurt? Or riding your bike, you know, when you ride the bike, you lift the leg on top of it and you're like, ah, damn. So yeah, I'm finally done with that. I don't think I'm fully recovered because I didn't even test myself. So notice how this fear builds up in your mind when you have an injury that you're not aware that you can actually heal. So I didn't pay too much attention to it. I just said, okay, I'm not going to bother that leg anymore. I'm not going to do any of those things anymore. And you keep living with this fear of noting how your range of motion has been decreased, you know, greatly reduced. And you don't train those muscles anymore, and you're afraid of messing up again. So that leads to this kind of stress it's always in the background of your mind, and you're always thinking of yourself as like a lower version now because there's something lacking there, something you can't get back. And I'm getting over that right now. So I already started this ATG program from the Knees Over Toes guy, which is someone that I followed on YouTube for like a year and a half or something. He's been blowing up, you know. And I took a look at his program, and it really resonated with me, and I've already started working on it. This is day 2, actually. So
nice. Yeah, I wanted to do his, like, I've been doing some of his stretches that I saw because like my left knee actually, it's a bit weird, you know, like it's a bit sensitive because of like past issues, and I always had like trouble squatting and like doing like those sort of movements, and it got like so much better, you know, like the amount that I can go lower and that kind of stuff. So
it's great for improving your mobility range and your all the little annoying pains that you feel in the knee or in the heels, or you know, those crackling noises and stuff.
Yeah, just
sometimes.
like walking a lot, like got better, you know, by stretching some muscles that you don't, like the front muscle of the like the lower part of the leg. It's almost never exercised, you know, and like that makes such a huge difference for walking and for like doing deadlifts and squatting and everything. Like, I always wonder why no one like trains them, you know, just because they don't get big. Like, come on, that's not how it works.
It's because they don't want to get like sore the next day.
Yeah,
because it's really painful.
That's why it makes so much sense that he trains them as well, because these are usually, maybe now or later in life, parts of the body that start to hurt for no reason. Like, oh, my knees right below the kneecap for some reason. I don't know. I have a pain there, and you don't know why. And it's probably because that muscle has been neglected for so long, and that muscle turns out to be not the main character, but close to it, you know, like a really important character in the story. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm excited, man, about like things to come in both professional ways, health ways, and yeah, internet wise as well, like posting more stuff on YouTube. I don't know. I got plans. I'm thinking of
that.
I'm thinking of TikTok as well.
Yeah, I'm thinking
I've been
about it as well. Like I
resisting
need
it.
to keep way more away from it than I should.
That's what I
Honestly,
thought. That's what I
know
thought.
that's the
but
future, but to be completely honest with you, I'll not get there. Like that gives me headaches. I can't
that
stand
was
TikTok,
my.
man. I
I
tried.
was like, not another
actually tried.
platform. I already have
No,
enough.
the issue for me is not that it's another platform. It's how it works. You know, like it's not the type of content that I consume and that I like to like see.
Yeah, that's
It's
for
super
sure.
fast paced.
Like,
You know, like
the only reason that I mentioned it is because of the growth potential and the exposure
oh yeah,
aspect,
yeah.
right?
Have you seen?
Not
I think
because I want to
it's
spend time there.
Matthias Zamecki. Matthias, I'm not sure how to pronounce
Yeah,
it. Like,
Matthias Zemecki. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen him sharing his story
Yeah.
on from TikTok, like on Instagram. He
Yeah.
was like, "Guys, look at this growth potential. This is insane. This is how much you can
It
grow on
is.
TikTok. It took me 2 years or 4 years to get to this point on Instagram. I did it in 2 weeks on TikTok. So it's like
on
that kind
TikTok,
of
yeah.
instant growth kind of thing. That of course it's attractive. I wonder if it's the same for everybody. Like I really think it depends on the content you post and
I think it depends a little bit on like how the content is presented because the audience
Exactly.
is different, right? But
Yeah.
at the same time, it plays a lot with that quick reward kind of mechanism. You know,
Yeah.
like where
Yeah.
you feel very well rewarded by your input. Well, while on Instagram, like I don't know about you guys, but I don't feel as well rewarded when I post stuff.
hmm
So it doesn't play with that quick trigger on your mind, right? I got like
Dom
super lazy with
has the-
Instagram because it's
Dom has the best
Dom is a monster
ratio.
on Instagram. Like, yeah,
No, but not like he has a lot of followers, but he has like a good what's it called? Like, you know, that ratio of
Engagement.
like engagement. Yes, exactly. So, because I've seen people like
I think
200K
it's dropping
followers,
now.
they only get 1,000 likes per post. So I'm like, okay,
dude,
there's
I think I
something
have
wrong
like
there.
6K followers and I get like 30 likes. So, but that's because it's not frequent. You know, it's not constant.
You haven't
posting.
been active
Yeah,
either.
Yeah.
I've been constant posting lately.
Yeah.
Either.
Yeah.
So that's why I mean, like, if you like slow paced stuff, things that take more time, and I mean, not like trying to say that one
And
is better than the
algorithm
other.
is like it goes up and down. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like if you leave, then it kicks you out of the algorithm for a bit,
Yeah.
and then like lowers your interactions. But if you're more
Yeah.
consistent, then it starts like ramping up your page again. But I've been becoming less consistent now, just because
yeah.
I don't really.
You are finishing a
Care
book, right? I think that's a
much.
pretty good excuse.
Yeah, but some people still don't know that I'm making a book because like not everybody sees my stories. Like only like a small percentage sees it.
Maybe I should
So,
upload like a
Everybody
clear,
knows.
like a post with a clear picture
Yeah, a mock-up of
that
the.
shows like this is a book. this is Blue November. This is my new book. I'm making a book.
Yeah, you
Maybe
guys
you
saw
should
the page.
write it.
It's gonna be like on Amazon, or you
Mhm.
can order it off Blurb soon. So it's
Nice.
finally gonna have its own like buy page.
Awesome.
Finally.
That's cool, man. Yeah.
Nice. I feel like we're not using all the tools available on Instagram.
I
know, 'cause-
clearly
'cause-
am not using all the tools of it.
Because look, Instagram has like all these reels and these other type of videos, IGTV stories and regular stories, and then they have Something that I feel like it's imitating TikTok a little bit, which is where you can react to other reels. And, you know, they have like a timeline that you can edit. And because let's be honest, that's what TikTok attracted me the most for. You know, I was attracted for that reason. The editing tools, capabilities from TikTok, the way of creating content on something like TikTok is like much more complex and complete. It feels like that, at least, rather than on Instagram. And I don't even have TikTok. I've only seen it, right? But just from what other people have let me try, bro, it's such a different world. You know, the capabilities of producing content is so much different. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's another platform, right? With its own like quirks and methodologies and its own algorithm.
Yeah.
I think, well, it depends on where you are. I think, like, what you want for you. Because it's easy to get lost, right? If you want to build an audience, I think, like, that's the best thing that we can do. You know?
Exactly.
Like one of
exactly.
And you kind of have to be everywhere, at least like a small presence. Even if you, like, let's say, don't like Twitter, you need like a profile over there where you post regularly, and then it's a complete another job, like taking care of social media.
I know. Tell me about it. It's been so long.
To be honest, like, that's why I'm at peace with not posting that much, because to me, I see that like, okay, it's another job, and I might take that like later on, but like for now, that's not what I want. So when people say like, oh, you should do that, like, really, should you? Like, think about what you want for your life.
Exactly.
And then
like
you decide if like that's for you or not. You know, like,
you notice how I don't.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah. You just notice I don't have like many followers on my YouTube, on my Instagram, right? Like, I don't have like crazy amount of followers, and I've been on there for like years now, right? But the reason I'm posting, like, you notice the kind of content I'm posting, it's content that I just feel like I want to make, you know, like, I want to share this trip that I went on with my friends, with all of you guys. I want to share these thoughts with all of you guys. I want to share my perspective on this movie or this game, or what I think about this stuff, or this painting process, you know. I just post that kind of stuff instead of like figuring out, okay, which things are trending right now, which things can get me the most views, or because I'm not interested necessarily directly in that as a goal, you know. It's rather like a secondary goal. Like, if it blows up, it blows up. But it makes me happy to share these things.
Not everything needs to be like income or work related, you know. Like, you can have a Instagram for your personal use, a YouTube for like your own personal thoughts, where it's mostly about you and not necessarily about like selling something or like generating an income. Or I find that it's like, this year was a huge realization for me that, like, look, you don't need to work everything, you know, like everything that you do needs to be work related. You can like take a class and not share what you did because you just wanted to learn that thing, you know. Or you can, like, if you work out and you don't post a picture, it still counts, you know. That, like, that's also something, you know.
Now don't take it wrong, like, don't take it like the wrong way, because it's like, but don't you want to be like a, you know, wouldn't you be better off with like 10K subscribers or 100K subscribers? Yeah, of course. I'm just saying, I'm not investing that time
like
in that right now, you know, because I have other things to do. Like, for instance, I get more reward and more pleasure from working on my own project on Heavenurian, designing this world, figuring out the stories of all the characters and stuff.
Followers, at the end of the day, it's not everything. Yeah,
but Adrian,
it doesn't make you like happy.
Yeah, Adrian,
always.
You'll have to sell it someday. You'll have to get it out there, and there won't be anyone for it to look at, you know. So, and I'm like, yeah, I know. Everything has its own pace, right? Like,
that's what I said about Journey to the East.
Yeah, you can do both things at once, you know, like Dom is just working on his project and sharing it as it goes and growing, and more people are following him, and that builds up like a potentially bigger audience, you know, for his creation to be witnessed. So there's nothing wrong with it, you know, just do whatever you want. If you there's a toxic part of this where you just spend time consuming content all the time, right? And you don't produce anything. I don't think that's healthy. You know, it's almost like I just look at tutorials all the time, but I'm never practicing anything. I learn from them.
Yeah, that's why I took a detox period of this year, you know, like where I deleted everything from my phone. With every social media app, and it's like it was good because I was consuming too much, and I kind of went like, okay, now I want to focus on my own thing. And now that I like downloaded everything back, it's like I'm not even using it as much, you know. It's nice. Like it lost kind of the meaning of it, because it's just a habit, you know, like you don't even realize that, I'm doing this, like waiting in line, I'm checking Instagram, I'm waiting like somewhere else, I'm on Facebook, I'm having lunch and I'm looking at Twitter, you know. It's like
there are
not
times
really great and not really meaningful.
I want to just throw away the phone, you know, because you get to that point of like realizing how much time you're wasting on all these pointless scrolling sessions,
little rectangle.
Yeah, but scrolling all the time. Like, okay, this was a shitty post. Let's see the next one. Okay, a shitty story. Okay, a shitty YouTube short. Okay, this doesn't make any sense. Let's see the next one. It's almost like a lottery thing. Like you're trying to see what you get next.
And that's not to say like there's like fair uses of it, right? Like, of course, there are good uses of it. It's just like, I think people need to stop and actually think about it and pay attention to their actions, you know.
It's hard to control yourself because they're designed that way in a way to keep your attention, right? To keep you
just
coming
like the street food that we were talking about earlier, you know.
Yes,
like
exactly.
Made to be addictive.
Exactly. There's always this, bros. I see this everywhere and everything. Like this ingredient of like this addictive component, you know, that is everywhere in TV shows, in movies, in franchises, in food, in video games. And I see this kind of trend that's been spiraling up, you know, with the growth of the internet in the last decade or so. This trend of like competitive online games, you know, things like League of Legends or any shooter game you can think of that is like individual matches. There's no story per se. You don't have a campaign mode like you used to do in, you know, the initial games back in the days. There's still games like that, of course, narrative driven games. There's an audience for everything out there nowadays. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, I'm just saying that it's
the newer generation.
Yeah. And I think this is pretty connected to the fast paced things you were talking about. You know, it's like, okay, this only lasts for like 20 minutes.
All of that.
Man, metaverse is going to be like a huge new business, I feel like.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, people would let their bodies rot in all their bedrooms, you know.
Of course. I see this tendency. Like, it's not easy. It's not hard. It doesn't take a genius to realize that technology is like going a very weird route. You know, like you can't really control it at a point. I'm not sure if I'm expressing this the right way, but I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. That it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. The same way you're overwhelmed with just your phone, the amount of apps you have, and, you know, this moment where you're feeling a little stressed or something, you know, you take your phone and open Instagram for no reason. Open YouTube for no reason.
Yeah, it's like that instant relief because you're escaping from reality. Yeah,
you realize it, and then again, you know, and you put it out. A few minutes later, you do it, and unconsciously you do it again.
There's this concept that I was listening to about the guy that I shared with you guys, the Hamza dude,
Oh yeah, yeah.
where he was talking about self-improvement stuff. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he talks a lot about instant gratification and how people should delay gratification more in order to like reap the reward later. So you don't instantly, go off or get that hit that you need. You're like delaying that hit. So
Yeah.
it feels more uh sort
More
like
meaningful, more fulfilling,
yeah.
Or
more.
real as well.
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah. I like those
You improve
experiments that
yourself.
I've seen with kids
Yeah.
usually, They offer them like a cookie and they say if they manage to not eat it until the adult comes back, they give them another free cookie. They get two if they just wait a little bit. And there are some kids who just eat the cookie before the adult comes back, because they can't
They
hold
can't
it no
wait.
more. It's right here. Come on, why not? So I have
Temptation.
conflicting thoughts about those kind of mindsets because it's like living in the present. Like it's right here. Why not? You never know. But also having this vision of like a future where you can be better, if you sacrifice something right now, for a greater good in the future. That's yeah, it's different, two different mindsets, two different perspectives of this that I feel like this with
Yeah.
most things, I struggle to
I
have
think
like
it
a
can get
middle point balance.
dangerous if you like sacrifice meaningful things right now for meaningful things in the future, because then you are
Absolutely.
not really like. But honestly, like sacrificing for me social media for time with family right now, I'm like sacrificing something right
That's
now for
better.
another something right now.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's when you start like sacrifice your health for money, or you start to sacrifice
Mhm.
your family time for work, or I don't know,
Although
like
that's
whatever.
that's kind of poetic as well, and really heroic vibes, at a time like, oh, he gave everything for this, and it's
But
like those kind of stories, right?
don't
But at
you
the
think
same
it's a bit
time,
like too romantic when people say like it's too romanticized the fact that people sacrifice like interaction with other people for something that will only generate money? Like
yeah,
I
I
think
think
like
it's
that's
about the
where
meaning
it
you give to
gets blurred.
things.
Oh yeah,
To
of
me,
course.
money is everything, so I'll kill myself for money, And to some others, it's like, I don't care about money. Like, all I care about is my friends, my family. This is my wealth, not this. And some people will laugh at these people saying, oh, you're such a fool. Money will take you anywhere in this world. And they'll be like, yeah, but I won't be happy and I won't be this and that. Oh, I've never seen a crying
Every
guy in a
person
Ferrari
said-
or something, And there's a lot of comparisons like that. A lot of people look, it's a matter of perspective. As Dom said, is just a matter of meaning, like the meaning you attach to things. Not many people would care a lot about working on their own universe, because thinking of imaginary things all the time, like that's so detached from the real world. I'd
I
rather
always
work
thought,
in
like,
something.
dude, I always thought like the idea of personal projects was something that every artist had, because like I'm surrounded by you guys, like we are always talking about it. And then I talked to a couple of artist friends. They were like, nah, man, I work and that's all, right? Like I can't do any more art after I leave work. And I was like, whoa, those kind
Oh,
of people
yeah.
exist. It's
Yeah,
like-
well, it was just a personal example because it felt like really close to me, right? But it could be literally anything, like
yeah,
a
but
hobby you might have. You find meaning in collecting whatever, a type of statues or whatever. Like,
Like,
oh, these
there's
are
some people
everything
who
to me
just-
because our ancient past and all this. You can come up with any kind of explanation to so redundant, but to explain your passion for those things.
Some people will just see like art as just work.
yeah.
I can't see it as just like that. Like there has to be something more.
But that's
for
what
me.
you're meant to do, bro.
Keep
Like,
going.
Yeah.
you're born, you grow
Yeah.
up, you study, and then you work, and then you die, and that's it. Some people really see it like that. Like, what meaning? What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean? So I don't know. It's
There's
okay.
a lot
Like,
of nihilism.
there's a balance, I guess. Not everybody will feel this particular way, and not everybody will feel this other particular way. Like, we each are different in that sense.
Yeah.
We have
And
different
I don't want, like,
visions, different opinions.
Yeah, I don't want
That's
like
okay.
assign value of what's best or like better or worse in those
Yeah.
cases. I think like people just need to find out for themselves and stop like just taking the message that comes from the outside, like what
Yeah.
you should do.
Yeah.
It's like,
What do
dude,
you think you should
shouldn't
do?
Yeah,
Right?
what do you think?
What do you feel?
Like, look, you will make mistakes along the way, like you will
Mm-hmm.
realize that, oh, this thing that I thought was important is not actually, so I'll focus on another thing. And
That's
if you
part of
listen,
your
like,
evolutionary process too.
oh yeah, I think like
Right?
I got less and less like single-minded as time went by, because before I was like super focused. Oh, work is everything, and that's like you should sacrifice everything for it. And then as you get older, and you start to think, not that like we are old, like we are
Yeah,
still
yeah.
pretty young, but it's that kind of change where you start to being so
You gain more XP, more experience.
yeah, you gain more experience. Yeah, and like I feel like the more time went by, the more I'm spreading those XP points across different skills instead of like
Yeah.
putting on work and work and work.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start to appreciate other things,
Mm-hmm.
Like when you are so young and so hungry, metaphorically speaking, for work and a career and the industry, and yeah, you kind of take any option. You think of making massive risks and all that stuff, and then as you make more progress, you start to kind of grow some roots on certain things, right? And that sounds quite heavy, that you're growing roots into something. It means that you're never going to move from there, from that opinion, from that place, from that whatever that is. But I think it's important to stay open-minded, nevertheless, and still be receptive for other types of possibilities.
If you think like about those rules as if they were values, it's pretty good that you are standing on firm values,
Mm-hmm.
and it's even better if those values give space for you to grow anywhere else. Because like if you think about the tree example, like the roots are underground, but on top of the ground it can grow anywhere it needs. And usually, like, let's say that you block a part of the sunlight on it, it will grow towards the sun, like
That's an awesome analogy, bro.
you see, like it will
like
be
it.
You gave it, like you gave the analogy.
No, but I like how you
It's
continued it. Like, yeah, it's totally that.
I think like we can think of that way, like you need your values to like know where you stand and what guides your life, basically. But that doesn't need to impede like growth and challenging opinions and that kind of thing.
But that's hard, Andre. How do I figure that out? I don't know.
You tell me.
I think
I
the
feel
way you
as
figure
generations.
Go ahead.
I feel like as the generations grow older, or like at least the younger generation, they're having a hard time grasping that concept of, building a better future for yourself or whatnot. Because I don't know, I see a lot of younger kids these days. They're just so self-defeating. Like they just don't want to try. They just want to give up.
That's like, what's the point of trying if I'll fail anyway?
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah,
because it's what I'm seeing a lot nowadays. That kind of self-defeating mentality. A lot of a lot of people posting like depressing kind of stories, depressing kind of memes, that in a comical way, they're communicating this sad message, of self-deprecation and like, it's a pointless life. I'm afraid of people. I'm afraid of like human contact. I'm afraid to talk to other people. Or
I don't want to achieve anything.
Not even. What's the point? Why do I have to achieve anything? I'm already good the way I am, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then comes the complaints.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't agree. Like, if you think that there's nothing wrong with you, like, you must be going crazy, like, you're a human full of defects. Like, if you think that there's nothing wrong with you,
we're just here to exist on this giant rock.
Again,
yeah, that's not what I meant.
Yeah, I know. But like,
yeah, of course. Imagine
there's nothing wrong with you. Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah. No, you have to be
there's nothing wrong with me as well. You're all perfect.
There's why this self-awareness comes into the game, like you have to really be mindful about what's going on around you. And what they always say, you have to fix your inner world before you can fix your outer world, right? And I think like the message is kind of like, okay, there's a million things wrong with you, and there's a million things wrong with me too, but that's okay, like there's a million things wrong for everyone. That's not an excuse for not trying, right? I think I don't know about you, but one of the reasons why we did LightShare, we created it, it's kind of about like that, look, it's okay to make mistakes and to be wrong and to like keep trying. So the thing is that I think there's objective wrong and subjective wrong, like things you think are wrong with you alone that are not recognized as something like objectively, like, oh, I'm 1 second slower than you in a 100-meter run, bro, that's fine. Overall, like, it's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
But then if you want that greatness, that excellence, where you keep climbing this mountain and you go like, this is the tallest mountain I've ever climbed, and then you realize you get to the top and there's this other huge mountain, and you're like, oh shit, and then you climb that other one and that other one, and it keeps going upwards, and
we're not going to get stuck in the crabs in the bucket this year, guys. I'm not going to let that happen.
Yeah, and you said something about like the newer generations having it being confused and stuff like that, and I think they kind of have it harder because of all the noise that it's out there right now. And
there's
everything.
Just so much.
There's a lot.
Everything's handed to them.
No, but not necessarily. Not necessarily that. I'm not talking about the fast-paced content and fast-paced consumption of content and all that stuff. I'm talking about the amount of things that are constantly attacking your attention, fighting for your attention, fighting for your time.
And also, like, a lot of things telling you what you should or shouldn't do, how you should or shouldn't behave, where you should or shouldn't be. Like, it's basically like, how can you decide for yourself if, like, it seems like everyone already decided for you what you should do.
Yeah.
And then, like,
I guess in terms of
at the same time, like, I see a lot of messages of like older people saying, oh, we fucked up, you are the generation that will save us. Like, okay, calm down. Isn't it like a bit too much pressure for the younger generations?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess in terms of information out there for learning, I feel the younger generation has it all, like, compared to how we grew up, where we didn't have much resources, but they have a ton of resources to be the person that they want to be, like, everything, you can learn anything now. It's almost like not an excuse at this point.
Which is why I think there's a lot of confusion about like people that are super I see that a lot in artists, like super young artists that are great in art, and they have no idea what they want to do, because like they were only focused on getting good and trying the job that they thought they wanted. They never second guessed that. So like
Yeah.
now that they achieved what they wanted, it's not as good as they thought it would be,
To
and
all
then
of
they're
those
depressed
people,
because
to all of those people that fall into that category, that kind of profile you mentioned, I'm just going to say to them that they don't have to worry, because sooner or later you bump into what your dream has ever been. Like you find out that thing that you got, kind of go like this eureka moment, like this is it. I found it. And that happens sooner or later, You don't know. Actually, you never know when exactly it's going to be. But yeah, I would say you don't have to worry about that. The more you try to force it, the farther away it gets from you. It's a funny effect, The more you look for it, the less you find it. And then when you just keep going your own way, it sooner or later crosses paths with you. It's I don't know how to explain this, but it just happens that way for some reason.
You kind of wanted to. We all, I think, kind of want to give advice, like how to find yourself, basically.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's weird to give that kind of advice because it's basically like be you.
Yeah, but you can't teach
how do
that,
you be
right?
yourself?
Yeah, how do you be yourself? It's like,
be excited.
Who am I so I can be myself?
Yeah, be passionate about your work. Yeah, be excited about this. You can't teach those things. That's something you just do. You just feel it. It's not something.
It's something that I feel like a mentor would help you out with. Like a person who really cares about you, like on a personal level, not like a mentorship in the sense of like an art mentorship that we see all around, where you spend like 4 weeks with a person so they can teach you how to be them.
Guidance,
Yeah, it's something that like I don't know about you guys, but it's kind of like family and teachers in school and like people that you meet along your life that you kind of like vibe towards.
Yeah.
Like that one teacher that you really liked and you ended up having nice conversations after class, or like
I want to mention Dr. K here. Dr. Kanoja on Twitch and YouTube, the guy from Healthy Gamer. So this is a Harvard psychiatrist that has been blowing up on Twitch and YouTube, and he's been interviewing like lots of famous streamers and YouTubers and other kind of profiles, and also like regular viewers, which is awesome. And you see the amount of insight that everybody can bring to the table, from their own experience. They've been through some really horrible shit. They talk about it. And this guy analyzes that from like all his knowledge and his experience and stuff. And man, you learn a lot with every single video. You feel at a point that, oh yeah, I can relate to this guy. Also to this guy. Have you seen that episode with, that guy too? Like I could relate to this part of his story. It's like we're all connected in a way during all our journeys. Yeah, I don't know, man. But yeah, you're right, Andre. Like we're all here trying to give like, we're not, I know a lot of people take us for like, oh, you think you're a smart ass who knows everything, has everything figured in life. You have no idea, right? We're not trying to do that.
It's like, no.
It's just, what we're trying to do,
the opposite.
What we're trying to do is like, look, this is how far I've come. This is how I did it. Maybe it can help you to know my story. If you're interested, of course. But keep in mind that we all have like a different path, a different journey, a very particular, exclusive almost sometimes set of circumstances that kind of set you apart from everybody else, right? So you have to adapt all this knowledge that you're getting from Adrian, from Andre, from this other guy, from this other girl, from all these sources of experience that you're getting all this knowledge from. You have to filter that through your own network of like processing all these all these thoughts and all these things. Yeah, and just adapt it to your own needs.
Imagine like this, right? During life, you are building your deck of cards, and each experience is a deck of cards, right? And then when you talk to other people, you're actually like sharing your cards with them. But when you share, you get to keep your own and like also give it to them. So not like my deck, it's built from my cards and also your cards that you shared with me. And like those experiences, they pile up, you know. It's like what you want at the end of the life. It's look at your deck and like be able to guide yourself through life, you know.
Exactly.
Like say, hey, this is
have this experience that I have that you might not have, but you also have something that I don't have that I could get from you. So it's like an exchange of knowledge.
Sometimes I think about the future, you know. I envision like regular, ordinary, everyday kind of scenarios, and I see like the younger generations, like the same way we think of our parents or our grandparents, you know, people who don't get to be as much in touch with technology that we are. Like, look it up on Google. Like, how do I do that? Like, which icon exactly do I, you know, it's stuff like they're struggling to kind of find their way through technology because they're more used to like physical jobs and physical based actions and stuff like that, rather than like a screen that doesn't even have buttons on it. It's just a screen, you know? And I'm starting to feel like that with all these new technologies like NFTs, like purchasing NFTs and selling them, and there's a whole business behind that stuff, and all the investments in like trading and cryptos, all this hidden part of the world, you know, that is not necessarily part of our everyday lives right now. I feel like that's what I see when you mention the metaverse, for instance. Like
we're becoming the next generation boomers.
Yeah, exactly. It's the next
I don't
thing.
really mind it that much. I'll embrace the next step, you know.
You know, the way I see this is like it's like a wave, right? It's a wave, and it's not necessarily something you like. It's not a pleasant wave, maybe for yourself, you know, for your subjective perception or something. But if it can take you places, it's almost like TikTok. We don't like TikTok, but if TikTok can get us like more visibility and stuff like that, I might give it a try. You know, it takes you where you want, and yeah, but
that's why the trick's knowing where you want to go, you know. Like exactly. I hate flying, but I needed to fly to meet Dom because I knew I wanted to meet Dom and all the people over there. So like maybe the path is not your favorite one, but if you're clear-minded where you want to get,
it takes you there.
It's alright.
You could have just teleported to me, man. That'd been easier.
We were missing about like 500 years for that to happen.
But yeah, dudes, like what are you mostly excited about this next year? Like well, you guys have any plans that you would like to share about different...
I have one like thing that I'm very excited about and that I need to warn people about. The remodeling of my house will probably be done in a couple of months, and my advice is don't remodel a house. It's too much work. No, man, I'm telling you, it's such a tiresome process. It's like really stressful, and I'm just excited to getting it done. And and of course, like everything else, this was just a joke. But
you'll make episodes from your new house, like a boss. Like it's worth it.
Yeah, you'll finally get to see like all of my Star Wars shit on the background, you know.
Nice.
All of the toys, all of the cushions, all of everything.
Awesome. That's awesome, bro. About you, Dom?
Well, would really like to get more progress in on LightShare. Hopefully, I'm probably seeing...
I'm not sure about that.
Maybe All right, don't jump shit. No, I'm seeing like good progress by maybe like middle of year, end of the year. Like we'll probably like kickstart a lot of things. That's what I'm like foreseeing. Like I have a feeling like things are gonna be popping like towards like mid to end of this year or 2022.
Yeah.
We're still like kind of figuring things out, and then I think it'll just steamroll like down that path. So I have high optimism. But also, I guess for personal goals, just finishing up Blue November, wrapping it up. Hopefully before like Valentine's Day or something. It would be a nice
Whoa.
like Valentine's gift for somebody out there maybe. But also just
Yeah, do that so then I don't have to pay for my own book. I can just ask for it.
you could. But yeah, also starting JTTE Part 2. That's the other
Damn.
the big
Damn,
goal.
dude.
I like the sound of that, man. Gave me chills.
Awesome. Awesome.
And then get people to collaborate.
Oh,
You guys.
that would be awesome, bro. Sounds epic
If
already.
only you knew some artists that could help you out with it.
Yeah, we'll let you know if we know someone.
Yeah. If I
Spaceship.
find someone, I'll let you know.
I need a cameo of a big dog in my story.
Oh, okay. So I know someone.
Yeah, I have a friend. Like he's kind of like, but I think he would be able to help you out with it.
Yeah, he'll do the job. But that's awesome, bro. That you're planning
Could you
all these
imagine
things.
like all of our universes collide into an IP?
I mean, that would be
Dude,
It's like the
definitely
multiverse,
yeah.
metaverse,
Why not?
like
yeah, man.
LightShare, the multiverse.
The LightShare verse, you know.
LightShare verse.
It kind of is like that. Like each one of us has our own universe of stories and characters,
Mhm.
and then like one day we just bring them together. That'd be
Yeah,
That would be
that's
cool, man.
definitely an option. I'm just thinking how I'm imagining that sequence where. Yeah.
What
yeah.
about you, Adrian? What are
Yeah.
you excited, looking forward to?
There's so many things, man. I like this mentality of just do it, you know? Like it doesn't have anything to do with Nike or Adidas or anything like that. Not the promotional slogan or anything
Get a
like that.
sponsorship.
But this mentality where you think of something and you do it. Kind of like what Dom did with LightShare. So for those of you who are new here, Andrea and I were talking about this like as a joke almost. Like, can you imagine one day, you know, we make our own show and stuff? And then in the next
Love
call,
this story.
Dom joins and we say, yeah, bro, can you imagine? And he's like, yeah, actually, let's do it. And that same day, it was done. I love that type of stuff. Where you just think of something and you get it done. So I'm trying to embrace that a lot more. And all I can say is that I think 6 months make a big difference, can take you places like crazy. It's just dedication. I'm focusing on rebuilding my discipline. Because these years I've been, what's it called? Like flowing. Like, all right, if I feel like that, I'll do it. If I feel like this, I'll do it. Plus, having jobs that don't provide you with any deadlines make you even lazier, you know? At least in my case. I didn't feel any need, any pressure, any urge to kind of organize anything. So I kept talking about it. Oh yeah, I have to organize the world building process of Heavenurian. I have to organize my YouTube thing. I have to organize my client stuff. But that was it, just words. So this time I'm already taking measures. I'm using tools to visually organize these things, to put them on a calendar. So then I no longer have that room for like that flexibility like I had before, where I can say, nah, next month maybe. No, it's now. You know, like this just reminded me of one David Goggins video where he says, that alarm clock goes off in the morning. You want to turn it off, and your mind goes, no, this is what we do now. You know, get up and get the job done. So that mentality, that same concept, take it and apply it to financial things, to professional growth, to workout, to diet, to social things, like, you know, anything you can think of, man. And that's what I want to do this year. I know it didn't sound like very precise, but at least it's something, you know, to start with.
Well, you know, you can adjust the course along the way as long as you take off, you know. Like,
always, man, always. And look, I started to work more on Blender. By the way, thank you, Andre, for helping me with that. It's been one of those daunting experiences, you know, to...
Helping is how you call it, like kicking your butt until you get into the software. Yeah, I'll take it.
No, but see, there's always a moment for you to dive into this pool that you've been fearing for so long. Yeah.
Yeah, that it like took the chance, and because Dom, if you haven't seen what he's been producing, Adrian makes me hate him when he like starts something new, because he's like immediately good at it. It's like,
yeah, dude.
So look, there's been a while that I've been producing stuff and not posting it anywhere, and this has been Andre's reaction when he witnessed, like, Adrian, you don't realize what you have there. Holy shit! Why don't you show this stuff around? And I'm like, yeah, because I think, you know, it's not perfect yet. And he's like, it's never gonna be perfect. You don't understand how this works. You have to put it out there.
I could feel his pain.
But yeah, I'm also trying to get over those kind of insecurities and fears of what other people might say, and like, but it's not perfect. Oh, but it's not polished enough. But it's not. Shut up. Just share it, you know. And same thing with the stories.
Voice in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
You know, the little devil on your shoulder. Just
you guys have no idea how much I've been writing. Like I showed you, actually, I think, like a quick scroll through all this.
Yeah. It was one of those moments that I hated you for.
Easy.
Yeah. So no, like, each one of those slides is like
in a good way. Let's clarify for people don't think that I'm like fighting over stuff.
Yeah.
It's just pushing you. Like,
so that's what I want to do more. I want to take my theory and say, enough theory, let's go to practice, right? And just take off already. It's been too long here. And that's what I'm going to try to do this year. And yeah, both physically, spiritually, you know, all the physical exercise thing, working out, all that stuff that I'm like only gliding over, you know, gently. I want to get deep into that too. And look, to sum this whole thing up, I want to be the Adrian that I always wanted to be. I want to be the Adrian that I always talk to people about, you know, because I'm tired of not being that guy, you know, and I feel like that's, I don't know how to express it, but yeah, it's not, it gets you tired.
I'm getting emotional. Stop it.
And I know there's a lot of people feeling, I know there's a lot of people feeling like that. Like,
yeah, it's only half a joke. I was really getting, because I get it, man.
You want to do, you want to do things, you want to get things done, but there's always an excuse you find, you know, and then you feel bad, and that time it never comes back. You never get it back. So that's why this mindset that I talked about, this just do it mentality, like, okay.
I wanted people to like realize that when you think about like enjoying the moment, Like it's actually living it to its full potential,
Oh yeah.
Like enjoy the moment doesn't mean like being lazy or being willy-nilly with your time and like just doing whatever. Enjoying is not like just sitting around, If at one moment it is sitting around and like looking at the environment, like feeling the air and like kind of meditating, yeah, that's fine. But if you live your life as if time didn't matter, it will come the day where you realize that it all mattered and you kind of wasted it all. And that person that you always wanted to be like only got further away. So, which is one of the reasons why I try to push you, because like the amount of potential that I see and the amount like willpower that I see, it's inspiring, but it's also a shame when it gets wasted.
Yeah, and I'm deeply grateful for that, bro.
And look,
I really
I'm not
appreciate
saying
you guys.
that I take like everything to my full potential as well. Like I think we are all here to push ourselves towards like being the best person that we can ever be.
There's a balance, and that's something I've been learning to respect, like the limits of, like your limits. Okay, you can only work hard so far until you need a break. When you need a break, take the break.
I'm not saying like to not take breaks. Like,
I know. This is like a continuation to what you said. Yeah. Like you work as hard as you can. You work as smart as you can. You don't need to kill yourself in the way, because when you need it, like you need those breaks, you take them, right? It's okay. You go to sleep every night, right? Why don't you just go through the whole week without sleeping? See what happens. It's impossible. So sometimes it's better to take like a quick nap and then to keep going than to kind of burn out through the whole thing and spend like a week super tired afterwards. This brings some high school memories, right? The night before an exam or a test or something. But that's what I've realized. There's a lot of people who don't respect that. And now, from my experience, you see this injury that I had and many other things, you learn. You learn from your own steps, your own mistakes. And that's fine. I always use the fire example, like they can tell you about fire as long as it gets, You'll never understand fire until you don't get burned. But you don't need to get burned to an irreversible extent, Just a little bit to understand, okay, this thing burns. All right, now I get it, You don't have to burn yourself to death or like some giant wound or something. No, just to understand it. Because theory and practice are very different,
Yeah.
So when you get to that in-between point where you can understand, you can make both theory and practice collide and make sense to you and see them like working with each other. Like, yeah, I can see where that matches here. And when you do that from your own experience, I swear, man, it's a totally different thing. I don't know how to express it. It's like, yes, it was meant to be like this. Of course, it's so precise and exact. And it's like, it works. It's like it was meant to be like that. So, yeah, all I'm trying to say is that you guys believe in yourselves, in what you do. If you really believe in what you want to make, go for it. If you think it's going to help the world become a better place. And yeah, that's as much as I can say for now.
Yeah, guys. Honestly, I have nothing to say after.
Yeah,
like,
it was a good closing.
That's a good closing. I don't just want to say like Happy New Year, everyone. I hope it's the best of your life so far.
Yeah.
I hope you achieve your wildest dreams, whatever that is.
And I hope that
this year.
Yeah, it's kind of cheesy to say, but also like if you dream something, kind of go and believe in it as well, because like, look, it sounds crazy, but it works, believing that you can achieve your stuff. It works.
Well,
so yeah,
it is, because usually your reality is somehow related to your thoughts, right? Like the things you believe in are the things that surround you in a way.
the reason why I think like believing it's important, it's because this year I had like, I don't know, 10 or 20 moments where I had to kind of pinch myself and realize, fuck man, this is happening. It's like the thing that I dreamed
Mhm.
for so long, it's actually happening. So yeah, people believe in it, you know,
Met
it
Scott
works.
Robertson.
Oh yeah, I met Scott, man. Oh, that was surreal.
That
So
Ah,
was like
cool.
huge dream for you.
yeah, that top's like, I'll just say that it wasn't better than getting engaged because that can get me into trouble, but like it was pretty fun.
Let's say it's a top tier kind of
Let's say like top five
highlight.
moments. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Top 2 moments.
No, man, just messing around. But yeah, guys,
Yeah, you guys have an amazing time this New Year's Eve. Take care, stay creative, believe in yourselves, and yeah, we hope you got something out of this episode, or at least been entertained by it. And until next time, until the next episode, yeah, we wish you like a happy new year. Enjoy time with your beloved ones, and we'll see you in the next one. See ya, guys.
see you next year.
Yeah. Bye bye.